All right, good morning, everyone. Kids can come up front to hang out with me if they want to. We are reading from our Dinosaur Devotions by Michelle Metlock Adams, illustrated by Denise Turu, and published by Tommy Nelson Publishing. And today we are talking about the Dilophosaurus, and I really hope I am pronouncing that right. He weighs in at about as much as a large polar bear. The Dilophosaurus was one of the biggest meat-eating dinosaurs to roam the earth. And that's not all. It had those two bony crests that you guys see up there on top of its head, making it appear even bigger and scarier than it was. Scientists think these crests might have been covered with brightly colored skin, which would have made them stand out even more. Some scientists think the Dilophosaurus used those crests to intimidate its enemies. Apparently, this sly dino would display its crest, trying to make the enemy afraid. So it would run. Pretty clever, right? In reality, those crests weren't a weapon of any sort. In fact, they were too thin to use for headbutting, and the crest didn't shoot poisonous venom like some movies have shown them to do. They were just there for show. Sometimes this little stunt worked. Sometimes it didn't. And when it didn't work, the Dilophosaurus had a way of escape. Though it was large, it could run at about 20 miles per hour. So it ran away. Maybe that doesn't seem very brave, but sometimes running away is the smartest thing to do. Let's say you've been trying to stop talking about other people, but one of your friends sits by you at lunch and starts gossiping. You try to ignore her, but she just keeps on talking about one of your other friends. What's the best thing to do in that situation? Yeah, move away from her. Get up and leave, right? I don't think you need to necessarily run at 20 miles per hour. You could just walk, but leaving the situation is sometimes the best option, right? So I know that we have talked a ton. We've done a whole lesson series on the armor of God, right? Preparing yourself for spiritual battle. But sometimes our best option is not necessarily to fight, but to walk away. And that includes even for Jesus. If we consider what Joseph and Mary did in Matthew 2, starting at verse 13, it says, "When they had gone, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream." This is after the Magi visited. "Get up," he said, "take the child and his mother and escape to Egypt. Stay there until I tell you, for Herod is going to search for the child to kill him." So he got up, took the child and his mother during the night, and left for Egypt, where he stayed until the death of Herod, and so was fulfilled what the Lord had said through the prophet, "Out of Egypt I called my son." When Herod realized that he had been outwitted by the Magi, he was furious, and he gave orders to kill all the boys in Bethlehem and its vicinity who were 2 years old and under, in accordance with the time he had learned from the Magi. Then what was said through the prophet Jeremiah was fulfilled. "A voice is heard in Ramah, weeping and great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children and refusing to be comforted because they are no more." After Herod died, an angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt and said, "Get up, take the child and his mother, and go to the land of Israel, for those who are trying to take the child's life are dead." So he got up, took the child and his mother, and went to the land of Israel. But when he heard that Archelaus was reigning in Judea in place of his father Herod, he was afraid to go there. Having been warned in a dream, he withdrew to the district of Galilee and went and lived in a town called Nazareth. So was fulfilled what was said through the prophets, that he would be called a Nazarene. So God knew from the very beginning exactly what Herod wanted to do, didn't he? He knew that Herod was going to try and end Jesus long before, because what did Herod think he was going to be? He thought he was going to be a great king of his time and take his spot on the throne, right? So because of that, he knew also that Joseph and Mary weren't going to be able to necessarily fight that battle, right? So what did he tell them to do? He told them to leave. And they listened because in that instance, the best course of action was to walk away. Sometimes doing the right thing means speaking up. If you see someone getting bullied, or if someone is bullying you, sometimes the best thing is to speak up, right? Sometimes we're called to lead by example. We're called to be the one that tells other people that that's not okay, and you're called to be the bigger person, the better person, and say things that are encouraging. And sometimes we're called to remove ourselves from the situation. And that's totally okay. You have to know what the best course of action is and follow what God is telling you. So our memory verse today is from 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. You are tempted in the same way that everyone else is tempted. But God can be trusted not to let you be tempted too much. And he will show you how to escape from your temptations. Let's do that one more time. 1 Corinthians 10:13. You are tempted in the same way that everyone else is tempted. But God can be trusted not to let you be tempted too much. And he will show you how to escape from your temptations.
Have a great day. We'll see you next week, okay? God bless.